In this week's episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is unbreakable. Josuke and Rohan have to put their differences aside as they work together in battle against a speed demon stand user with a penchant for sucking out the nutrients from his victims. What the hell is even going on in JoJo anymore? This week's episode really took the whole bizarre thing to a brand new level. Not only is the first half of the episode devoted to Josuke trying to scam some money out of Rohan thanks to his brand new alien pal who can transform into ridiculous objects, but by the end of this episode, they're battling against a mysterious stand user that we've never seen, who has a stand that goes by the name of Highway Star. A stand which will track people down as fast as it can so that it can suck the nutrients from their body like a friggin' vampire. It almost seems like the creator of JoJo had a bigger story in mind for the character of Mikitaka Hazakure. That's the alien, that's his name that he goes by when he's on the planet Earth. And it seems like he just sort of said, you know what, let me do something with this later, I have another story in mind. And that's because halfway through the episode, Josuke's brand new alien buddy just decides to leave. I will say, though, that this episode was freaking hilarious, especially when Rohan's house just suddenly caught on fire, thanks to that magnifying glass being there. The scene is really funny because it's Tamami who actually notices that the house is on fire, and it's funny because in 1 second, you get to see, like, there's no fire anywhere, they just hear all of these fire trucks and sirens coming in, which is causing Josuke's alien friend to start getting all of these, like, weird hives all over his body and starting to puke up, while he's in the form of the dice, by the way. And then Tamami just looks over to the right and suddenly Rohan's entire house is on fire. It's so freaking hilarious. It's controlled chaos in anime form. If you think Rohan's house getting suddenly set on fire was weird, how about the scene where he stabs himself in the pinky, basically making this deal with Josuke that, look, if you get caught cheating, not only am I going to take all of your money and your pride away, but I'm going to break your pinky as well. Rohan has some intense hatred for Josuke. So much hatred, you could pour it over pancakes. But like I said, it's actually a really good thing that Rohan's house got set on fire because Josuke was able to get the hell out of Dodge, and then suddenly his new alien friend just decides to leave. They run into his mother, and according to Mikitake, this is actually not really his mother. It's someone that he's brainwashed so that he can live properly on the planet Earth. I still don't know if this guy is an alien or not, and it's driving me insane. And the fact that they just decided to sort of sweep his story under the rug and give us another one in the second half of the episode just makes me shake my head a little bit. Especially the way the second half of the episode opens up, with Josuke getting on a bus, and it just so happens that Rohan is on the same bus. So there's immediately a lot of tension, and they end up going through this tunnel, and suddenly Rohan notices that halfway through the tunnel there is this entranceway to a house, and he actually sees a vision of Kira actually killing his wife, or at least cutting her hand off. And speaking of Kira and his brand new family, their son is weird as shit. He's kind of a creepy little bastard because he has all of these hidden cameras around the house and he's watching everything that's going on. He's probably going to be the first one to figure out that his dad is not really his dad anymore. It's really creepy that he has one actually set up in his parents' room. He even knows that this is the first time in a while that his mom has gotten naked in front of the husband. Does anybody else just think that's weird as shit? So going back to the Highway Star stand, Rohan sees this vision of Kira cutting off a woman's hand, and he decides to go back to the tunnel and investigate, and he does find the door. When he walks in there, however, he suddenly gets attacked by this invisible being, and he gets back on his motorcycle and starts to drive away, when he suddenly realizes that he's being chased by these, like, weird little three-dimensional footprints, which can move really damn fast, and when they finally catch up to him, they start to suck all of the nutrients out of his body like a friggin' vampire. You even get to see, like, his skin is starting to become translucent, and you can see his inner organs, his skull, and everything. It's really messed up. And then the stand itself is revealed. It goes by the name of Highway Star. In the subtitles, they call it Highway Go-Go. I don't know, you can clearly hear them saying Highway Star, but this thing is a really great design. It kind of reminds me of an Egyptian pharaoh. Like, it has like this weird thing on its chin. It's got this royal, regal appearance to it with this checker pattern all over its body, but it's pretty awesome. I mean, it sort of just comes out of nowhere, but then again, most stuff in the JoJo series does. And it's planning to suck out the nutrients of Rohan, and it's also trying to get Josuke to come into the same room so that it can take away his nutrients as well. But Rohan manages manages to tell Josuke what's going on. He gets him out of there and he tells him that they're going to have to find the stand user in order to take this thing down. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable? What the hell is going on in this series? It seems like ever since they introduced Kira's father, the series has just been on crack. It's been on some sort of hardcore drug because every episode has just been insane. I mean, this one right here is definitely running the gamut for some of the strangest shit that I've seen from the entire series. There are just so many ridiculous moments in this episode. A pair of dice puking, Rohan's house suddenly coming on fire, him stabbing his pinky, the return of Tamami, this weird stand by the name of Highway Star. There are just so many bizarre things going on in this episode, and the fact that they still didn't follow up on the whole aliens storyline just really bugs me. It's still so incredibly mysterious, although I know we're going to see this character again. He makes an appearance in the intro. It seems like he's going to be one of the allies of Josuke and some of the other members of their stand user team. I'm almost at a loss for words for really what to say about this episode. It's just so damn strange. Every single second of it. I will say, though, that this episode is going to be crucially important to bringing both Josuke and Rohan together. They're going to be forced to have to work together and put aside their differences so that they can try and stop this stand user, who I'm predicting was also the creation of Yoshihiro Kira, the father of Kira himself. I imagine he's just sort of still going around randomly, finding people and turning them into some crazy stand users. It is nuts that this happened so quickly. Like, maybe a couple days have passed since the event at Rohan's house. Maybe it's only been just a day. According to Josuke, he was apologizing for the day before, so in the span of one day, Kira's father found someone else, turned them into a stand user. This person knows how to use their stand powers immediately and is already using them for evil purposes. You have to throw your suspension of disbelief out the window a little bit to enjoy JoJo sometimes. This is one of those episodes where you really gotta toss that frickin' suspension of disbelief over the top of a frickin' building. That being said, this episode was really great. There were a lot of really funny moments, over-the-top moments, some pretty cool action, and some really creepy imagery, especially at the end of the episode when Rohan is having all the nutrients sucked from his body and you can see his skull and he's spitting up blood. It's really damn creepy. This week's episode had some way better artwork and animation when compared to last week's episode, especially the scenes at the end when Josuke was getting ready to come in and try and save his friend. I always originally thought when they introduced Rohan Kishibe that his powers were just going to be too much. The fact that he can sort of write things into people's body, but if he's not quick enough, he's not going to be able to use those powers, and that was proven in this week's episode when he was attacked by the Highway Star. I'm just interested to see where all this is going and if it's going to somehow tie back into the whole aliens subplot. Aliens, ghosts, stand users, this series really is fucking bizarre. That being said, this was still a pretty damn good episode. It was a little disjointed, however. I mean, hell, even in the first half of the episode when they finished up the whole alien story, they gave us a little to be continued moniker, which usually doesn't even appear until the very end of the episode. And then like seconds later, we're at the halfway point. So this episode was sort of all over the place, but I'll be damned if it wasn't entertaining as hell. So I'm going to drop a 4 out of 5 on this episode right here. I'm really interested to see where it's going, and it's got me really excited for the next episode of the series, and to see how this is all going to tie into this whole Kira Yoshikage situation, so let's get excited for that. So, that's my thoughts on this week's very weird episode of JoJo, but before you guys go today, make sure to tell me what you thought about this week's episode. Did you have a favorite scene from this one? What's the deal with that alien guy? Like, is he actually an alien? Is he a stand user? What's going to happen when he returns? And how are they going to stop the evil Highway Star and its stand user? And what do you want to see from the rest of Diamond is Unbreakable? Please tell me in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave me a comment. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.